Hi, this is Lisa, the Quilt Wizard. In this video, I want to talk about what to do if you don't have your zone placement markers. It's happened to all of us. Whether you forgot to mark your zone or you had an unplanned shutdown, now you're in a spot where you don't have your zone markers. I'm going to show you what to do to recover from that. On this quilt, I am ready to start stitching out zone 3, but as you can see, I do not have any zone markers here, so I'm unable to place my next zone. The first thing I need to do is roll back to my previous zone. So best case scenario is I still have my zone markers from the previous zone. At that point, I can just go and line up and mark my A and B points because I'm using 4-point placement. On the Quilt Path side, I want to make sure I go into Zone Manager. Yes, I want to open Zone Manager. And then I'm going to go back to Zone 2 because this is the zone I want to place. It's my previous zone. And now, once I've placed my zone, I'm going to go to Zone Utils up here at the top of the screen, and next I'm going to click on this that says Next Zone. And what's going to happen is the machine is going to move to where that placement marker should be for my next zone. The needle will move to where it needs to place the next marker. And on your screen you will get the prompts to do your single stitch to mark for your next zone. Another way to accomplish this is to go to the end of your previous row of stitching, move the needle to a couple of stitches prior to the end of that row, then go to Repair Pattern and click on Closest Stitch. The machine is going to position itself over that stitch. You can use the nudge buttons here to fine-tune your placement, and then I will let it stitch out to the end of that row. It's just a couple of stitches by clicking Sew. And then it will give you the option to mark your next zone at this point. So that's all great, but what if you don't have your markers for the previous zone? If we look at our screen here, we will see that the highest point of our panto looks to be the top of this, the tip of the bird's wing. So I know that's the highest point of my pantograph on the previous row. So now I'm going to find that on my quilt top. It's right here, and you could take a ruler, or you could use your channel lock, either one, but you could take a ruler, and I can see then if I take that ruler straight across that my marking needs to be right there for that previous zone. I'll take my marking tool of choice. In this case, I'm going to use a washout marker. You could use a piece of tape, but I'm going to give myself a mark there, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of the quilt because I have A-B placement. So I found the tip of the wing right here. That's my high point. I'm going to use my ruler, make sure it's straight, come straight across, and put a mark over here. That's going to be my B point. Showing you with channel lock, there's my high point. I'm going to move straight across and place my mark here, go straight across to the opposite side. Make sure I hit that point, that high point, and come straight across and hit my mark right here. Then again, I would place my zone and then use the either Zone Utils, next zone, to find where the next zone marker should go, or use Repair Pattern, Closest Stitch like I demoed earlier. Once my next zone has been marked, I'm going to go ahead and advance my quilt. Now I've placed my next zone, Zone 3, and one final thing that I like to do to make sure that my placement is exactly where I want it is I will use Marking Tool. I'm going to open Plugins and Marking Tool. And now I'm going to start adding markings along the bottom edge of the previous row of stitching. So it doesn't need to be exact, but it's just a guideline to show you the brown line here is our previous row of stitching, and I just want to make sure I'm not getting any overlapping or drifting or anything like that, to make sure that my panto is properly placed. And that's it. No need to panic, just follow these steps and you'll be back to stitching in no time. As always, happy quilting.